In a small, peaceful village surrounded by soft green hills and golden fields of wheat, there once lived a hard-working farmer. His name was Rohan. He was not a rich man, but his heart was richer than any king's treasure. Every single day, before the sun even thought about rising, Rohan would wake up to the sound of roosters and the cool morning breeze. He had a simple routine. He would take a deep breath, say a small prayer of gratitude, and begin his long walk to the village well, which was almost 2 miles away from his little hut. The well was ancient and deep, hidden under a large banyan tree. The water from that well was the sweetest and cleanest in the entire region. But getting that water was not easy. Rohan had to walk carefully along a dusty, winding path that cut through dry land, small rocks, and wild bushes. To carry the water home, he used 2 clay pots. He tied both pots to opposite ends of a long, curved bamboo stick. Then he would place that stick across his strong, sunburned shoulders and walk back home with a steady, patient step. One of these 2 pots was absolutely perfect. It was made by a skilled potter many years ago. Its surface was smooth and shiny. It had no cracks, no scratches, no weaknesses. Every single morning, this perfect pot would carry water from the well to Rohan's home, without losing even one tiny drop. It was proud, very proud. Sometimes, when the sun shone on its smooth clay body, it would glow with a sense of superiority. It believed it was the best pot in the whole world. The second pot was very different. It was older, rougher, and had a long, thin crack running down its left side. Nobody knew exactly when the crack appeared. Maybe it happened when the pot fell from the potter's table. Maybe it happened during a stormy night. But the crack was there, and it was real. Because of this crack, almost half the water inside would slowly leak out, drop by precious drop, before Rohan ever reached his front door. The cracked pot felt deeply ashamed of itself. It thought it was broken, useless, and worthless. Every morning, Rohan would fill both pots with fresh, cold water from the well. Then he would begin his slow journey back home. The perfect pot would hold all its water tightly, not losing a single drop. But the cracked pot would start leaking immediately. Little droplets would fall onto the dry earth, making a soft, sad sound. Plink, plink, plink. By the time Rohan reached his hut, the cracked pot would be only half full. The perfect pot would look at the cracked pot with cold, mocking eyes. One warm morning, as they swayed gently on the bamboo stick, the perfect pot finally spoke. Its voice was sharp and cruel, like a thorn piercing soft skin. It said, "Look at you miserable broken thing. Half your water is already gone, and we haven't even reached home yet. What is the point of you? Why does our master even bother carrying you every single day? You are nothing but a burden, a waste of space, a failure." The cracked pot heard every word. Its heart, if a clay pot could have a heart, felt like it was being crushed under a heavy stone. But it said nothing. It stayed completely silent. It did not want to argue. It did not want to fight. It simply swallowed its pain and kept leaking, kept crying silently with every drop of water that fell to the ground. Day after day, week after week, the same thing happened. The perfect pot would tease and taunt. The cracked pot would suffer in silence. The farmer, Rohan, walked his long path every morning and evening, unaware of the cruel words being exchanged between his 2 pots. He never noticed the pain inside. The cracked pot, because he was too busy thinking about his crops, his family, and the simple tasks of daily life. But slowly, something began to change inside the cracked pot. The constant bullying started to poison its spirit. It began to believe everything the perfect pot said. Yes, the cracked pot thought to itself, I am useless. I am broken. I am a burden. Why does Master still carry me? He should throw me away and find another perfect pot. I do not deserve to be here. These dark thoughts grew stronger and stronger with each passing day. The cracked pot lost all hope. It stopped dreaming. It stopped believing in itself. Then one day, something inside, the cracked pot finally broke, not its clay, but its silence. The morning sun was unusually hot. The path was longer than ever. Dust swirled around like tiny ghosts. The perfect pot had just finished another round of cruel mockery. "You are worthless," it had said. "Completely worthless." The cracked pot could not take it anymore. Tears began to form, not water from the well, but real tears of sadness and shame. Drop by drop, those tears mixed with the leaking water and fell onto the dusty road. In a trembling, broken voice, the cracked pot whispered to the farmer, "Master! Master, please stop walking. I need to tell you something. I am so sorry. Please, forgive me." Rohan was deeply surprised. He had carried these pots for years, but they had never spoken to him before. He stopped walking, carefully set the bamboo stick down on a large flat rock, and looked at the cracked pot with gentle, caring eyes. His face was not angry. It was not annoyed. It was soft, like a father looking at his hurt child. "Why are you crying, my little friend?" he asked in a warm, low voice. "What is troubling your heart so deeply? Tell me everything. Do not hide anything from me." The cracked pot took a deep, shaky breath. Then it spoke, its voice filled with years of silent suffering. "Master, I am completely useless. I have a terrible crack on my side. Every single morning, you wake up before the sun. You walk miles and miles to the well. You fill me with water that you worked so hard to fetch. But because of my crack, half of that water leaks out before we even reach home. Half your effort is wasted because of me. And yet you never scold me. You never throw me into the garbage. You never replace me with another pot. I do not understand why. I feel so ashamed. I feel like a burden. I feel broken and worthless. Please, Master, forgive me for being so imperfect. Forgive me for letting you down every single day." As the cracked pot finished speaking, more tears rolled down its clay surface. The farmer listened to every single word without interrupting. His face remained calm, kind, and full of understanding. He did not laugh. He did not get angry. He simply smiled, a warm and loving smile, like sunlight breaking through dark clouds after a long storm. Then the farmer spoke. "Oh, my dear little friend," he said softly. "Is that what has been making you so sad all this time? Is that the heavy weight you have been carrying in your heart every single day? You think you are useless because of your crack? You think you are a burden to me?" The farmer gently touched the cracked pot with his rough, loving hands. "Do not cry any more. I have a secret to tell you. Tomorrow morning, I will show you something very special. And after that, I promise you, you will never, ever feel useless again. Just wait. Just trust me." The cracked pot did not understand what the farmer meant. But there was something so warm, so honest, so loving in the farmer's voice that a tiny ray of hope entered its broken heart for the first time in many months. That night, under the stars, the cracked pot could barely sleep. It kept wondering, what will Master show me tomorrow? Could it be true? Could I really be not useless? The next morning arrived faster than expected. The sky was painted in soft shades of pink and orange. The birds were singing their happiest songs. A gentle, cool breeze carried the sweet smell of wet earth and wild grass. Rohan, the farmer, woke up with a smile on his face. He stretched his arms, said his morning prayer, and then carefully picked up the bamboo stick with both pots tied to its ends. The perfect pot was silent for once. The cracked pot was nervous, but curious. They walked together toward the deep well under the banyan tree. Rohan filled both pots to the brim with cold, fresh water. Then he placed the bamboo stick across his shoulders and began the journey back home. But this time, something was different. The farmer did not walk fast. He walked slowly, very slowly, as if he wanted the cracked pot to notice something important. After a few minutes of walking, the farmer said softly, "Today, I want both of you to do something for me. I want you to look down at the ground on your respective sides. Look carefully. Observe everything. And then, tell me what you see." Both pots looked down immediately. The perfect pot looked at the ground on its side of the path. It saw nothing special, just dry, cracked earth, a few dead leaves, some small gray stones, and dust. Nothing more. Nothing beautiful. The perfect pot felt confused. Why is Master asking us to look at this boring ground? It thought to itself. But the cracked pot looked down at its own side of the path, and its mouth fell open in complete shock. Its eyes widened. Its clay heart began to beat faster and faster, because on its side of the path, something magical had happened. There were flowers. Not just one or two flowers, but hundreds of them. Beautiful, colorful, blooming flowers. Red flowers, yellow flowers, purple flowers, and white flowers. They were dancing gently in the morning breeze. Their petals were covered in fresh, sparkling dew. Their fragrance filled the air like a sweet perfume sent from heaven. The cracked pot could not believe its own eyes. It whispered in a voice full of wonder, "Master, Master, what is this? How are these flowers here? They are so beautiful. I have never seen anything so lovely in my entire life." Tears of joy began to form in its eyes, but this time they were not tears of sadness. They were tears of amazement and gratitude. The farmer smiled warmly. "Yes, my little friend," he said. "They are beautiful, aren't they? But now tell me something. On which side of the path are these flowers growing? Are they growing on the perfect pot's side? Or on your side?" The cracked pot looked again. The truth was undeniable. "They are on my side, Master," it said softly. "Only on my side. The perfect pot's side has nothing but dry earth and stones. Why is that, Master? Why do flowers grow only on my side?" The perfect pot was also listening very carefully now. For the first time in its life, it felt a strange sensation in its heart. Was it jealousy? Was it confusion? Or was it the beginning of shame? It did not know, but it stayed quiet and listened. The farmer stopped walking. He gently set the bamboo stick down on the ground and sat on a large rock. He looked at both pots with love in his eyes. Then he spoke, his voice slow and full of wisdom. "My dear cracked pot," he began. "I have known about your crack from the very first day I bought you from the potter. I saw that small crack on your side, and I did not consider it a flaw. I considered it an opportunity. Many months ago, when the rainy season ended, I walked along this path and planted hundreds of tiny flower seeds on your side of the road. I buried them gently in the soil. Then, every single morning after that, you did something magical without even realizing it. While we walked home, the water that leaked from your crack fell drop by drop onto those seeds. You watered them, you nourished them, you gave them life. Day after day, week after week, month after month, your crack, the very thing you thought made you useless, became the reason these flowers grew. Because of you, this barren, dusty road has become a garden of beauty. Because of you, travelers, who walk this path, stop and smile. Because of you, children come here to play and laugh. Because of you, my heart is filled with joy every single morning. Do you still think you are useless?" The cracked pot was speechless. Tears were now flowing, freely down its clay surface, but they were tears of pure joy, pure relief, pure love. For the first time in its entire existence, it felt valuable. It felt special. It felt loved. It whispered, "Master, I never knew. All this time I thought I was broken, but I was actually helping create beauty. Thank you. Thank you for not throwing me away. Thank you for believing in me." Then something completely unexpected happened. The perfect pot, which had been listening in complete silence, suddenly spoke. But its voice was no longer sharp, cruel, or mocking. It was soft, trembling, and full of deep shame. "Master," it said quietly, I have something to say. Please forgive me, both of you." The farmer looked at the perfect pot with the same gentle kindness. "Yes, my friend, speak freely. There is no judgment here." The perfect pot took a shaky breath. Tears began to form in its eyes as well. "I am deeply, deeply ashamed of myself," it said. All these months, all these weeks, all these days, I made fun of the cracked pot. I called it useless. I called it a burden. I mocked its crack. I laughed at its leaking water. I thought I was better because I was perfect. But now I see the truth. While I was busy being proud and cruel, my friend here was quietly creating something beautiful, something I could never create. My perfection never grew a single flower, but its crack grew an entire garden. I was blind. I was arrogant. I was wrong. The perfect pot then turned toward the cracked pot and said with genuine remorse, "My dear friend, from the bottom of my clay heart, I am sorry. Please forgive me for every cruel word I ever said to you. You are not useless. You are wonderful. You are special. You are loved. Will you forgive me?" The cracked pot, its heart now full of compassion and kindness, replied softly, "Of course I forgive you, my friend. We all make mistakes. The important thing is that you have learned from them. I hold no anger toward you. Let us be friends from now on." The farmer smiled warmly at both pots. His eyes were wet with happy tears. He placed one rough, loving hand on each pot and spoke words of wisdom that both pots would remember forever. "My dear friends," he said, "listen carefully. Nobody in this entire world is perfect. Not you, not me, not anyone. We all have strengths, and we all have weaknesses. We all have gifts, and we all have limitations. That is not a flaw. That is the beautiful nature of life." He looked at the perfect pot. "You, my friend, are excellent at carrying water home without spilling a single drop. That is your gift. Because of you, my family has clean, fresh water to drink every single day. You fulfill your purpose perfectly, and I am grateful for you." Then he looked at the cracked pot. "And you, my dear friend, have a different gift. Your crack allows you to water the flowers along the path. Because of you, beauty grows where there was only dust. Because of you, color and life have returned to this barren road. You fulfill a different purpose, but an equally important one. I need both of you. You complete each other. If both of you were perfect pots, I would have water but no flowers. If both of you were cracked pots, I would have flowers but not enough water. Together, you make my life whole." From that day forward, everything changed. The perfect pot carried water with humility, never mocking anyone again. The cracked pot leaked water with joy, never feeling ashamed again. They traveled together every single morning, not as rivals, but as best friends. One brought water to the home. The other brought beauty to the path. Both were needed. Both were loved. Both were perfect in their own unique way. And so, dear friend, if you look deeply into your own life, you will see that you are like these two pots. Sometimes you feel perfect, capable, and strong. Sometimes you feel cracked, broken, and ashamed. But the truth is, your cracks are not your enemy. They are your hidden superpower. They are the places where beauty enters your life and flows out to others. Never be ashamed of your imperfections. They make you who you are. And who you are is exactly enough. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt like the cracked pot, ashamed of something you thought was a weakness? Or have you been like the perfect pot, judging someone before knowing their full story? Comment below. Share your heart. You never know who needs to hear your story today. If this message touched you, please hit like, share this video with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe so we can keep walking this path together. Until next time, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and never forget, your cracks can create the most beautiful flowers. See you in the next story.